Many great LRs making their first return. But who should you buy with your hard-earned red coins? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. It is currently the 9th anniversary on Global Dokkan Battle, and as such, we have the return of many important LRs, which will now be made available for red coins. So the question is, who will you use your coins on? Who is worth your 500 hard-earned red coins? It's a tough question to answer, right? 500 coins is not something that's easy to come by. That's near 1,000 stones spent on any given banner. So the question is, who should you pick up with that? Because for many of you, that may not have been something that was easily grabbed, right? So, well, let's talk about a few of the units. Now, before we jump into who I think you should grab, let me say this. If you did not summon Broly, or you saved, or you're saving for Beast Gohan, and you have less than 500 coins, then I do not recommend you summon for, or you use your red coins for anyone on this banner. Your priority should be saving those red coins for the likes of Beast Gohan or Broly when they make their return on the Tanabata banner, whenever that plans to be for Global Dokkan. We don't know when that's going to happen yet, but it should happen relatively soon, given where things need to happen, right? So sometime between now and November, we should see it. Either way, right, save your coins for that if you don't have. Now, if you do have the coins, or you did summon Broly and you know you're going to summon for Beast and it's a non-issue, well, you can begin looking at who's on Broly's banner. And the first big unit that is making his first return is the Tech Fusion Zamasu. This is this guy's first return on Global Dokkan. He technically returned back on Rose's banner, but if I remember correctly, you could not actually purchase him with coins. You could only summon him from the banner. So, knowing that, well, let's take a look at what he's doing, because I do think he's probably the biggest priority, as units like this don't come around often. They only show up twice a year, usually, anniversary and worldwide. So this guy, is pretty important to the Super Boss's team, right? He has an entrance animation that basically protects him for a couple of turns while, say, the likes of Broly get their build-up, right? That's kind of what really makes them important, what they're doing for Broly, right? Now, when we consider that, but also, you know, like, even for Rose, like, stalling till you can get Rose's domain is kind of another use of him. But I mean, it's not like he's sitting there doing nothing, right? Once he gets a couple hits in him, he's actually insanely powerful, right? He can actually deal a lot of damage once he's got a couple of hits in him, right? Like, I'm talking, like, you know, by 3 or 4 hits in, he's tossing out a 13 million 18 key super, and that's on the low end, right? He actually does pretty well. On top of that, right, like, if you're using him for his domain, right, he has a domain that is basically impenetrable, right? He takes 0 damage while in the domain. He changes key spheres, in which case he's getting a lot of healing off of that. And, right, he's nullifying all attacks. So he's actually a pretty good choice here, for your red coins. If you were missing him, right? Maybe you didn't get him during Worldwide or when he showed back up on Rose's banner. So this would be a great time to pick him up. Now, another good choice here is the blue Kaio-ken Goku. Now, and Evo Vegito. I don't normally recommend purchasing an EZA, but by the end of the celebration, these guys will be getting an EZA, and by goodness, it is a crazy EZA, especially knowing the amount of buffs Reps of Universe 7 is getting as the year continues, with UI Goku's release, the U7 and LR EZA, the Frieza and 17 EZA, plus UI Goku and Evolution Vegeta's EZA at the end of this celebration, right? Like, Reps of Universe 7 is at a very good place by the end of the year, and They are probably a must-have on that team. They are just one of those extra bits of high damage numbers. Their defense leaves a little bit to be desired, but I mean, if you're running them as an all-out offense, right, kind of like as a third slot, you could easily kind of let the rest of the rotation do the protecting for them while they launch a bunch of very, very powerful supers. And the nice thing is, right, they're not necessarily locked to reps of Universe 7. They can be, they're locked to superheroes, and I wouldn't even say locked. It's just right, they need rainbow orbs, and on a superheroes team they're changing rainbow orbs, so it's actually really, really powerful. That was like their major weakness, is that they didn't have a way to change those key spheres, so now they do. And right, they can perform more supers, hit higher numbers, as well as when you get that active skill turn, like basically, you know, mow down anything in front of them. So I do think they are a good choice for your 500 coins. And of course, the last suggestion is the return of the 9th anniversary or 8th anniversary LR Bomb duo. These guys still can see a lot of play in the 9th anniversary meta, because a lot of the battle spectacle events, right, the Gogeta, the Beast Gohan, they're all long events, which means you can easily build these guys up to a max Spirit Bomb as long as you can be protected for that first turn. So they are really, really good. I mean, and even when not, right, like as long as you can get a couple turns of stacking out of them in that first turn, the first couple of turns, like they'll be fine defensively after that too, right? Supers might scare them, but by the time a super is really damaging to them in some of these fights, you know, you're going to be in standby, right? And then you can utilize the standby to get you to you know, land that final blow on the boss, right? So these guys are still really good. If you didn't pick them up during Tanabata, or you didn't pick them up during last year's 8th anniversary meta, they're definitely a good choice to pick up on your red coins, right? Now, one thing I want to throw at you is consider, if you're missing anyone on Beast Gohan's banner, Beast Gohan will be the part 2 LR of this celebration, right? So, you know, consider, if you're missing anybody on this banner, you may want to consider holding off on one of these 3, unless you would prefer them over one of those, right? If you're missing the GT duo, the Blues, or anyone, or like UI Goku or Evo Vegeta, you may want to wait before picking them up. But otherwise, right, if that is no concern to you, and, you know, we'll do a full breakdown of those guys when Beast's banner drop. But for now, if you are thinking about picking up somebody off of Broly's banner, I would say that Tech Fusion Zamasu is probably #1 priority, followed by the Z-Bomb duo, and then finally Evolution Blue Vegeta. All of these cards, even at 55%, will benefit whatever team you're throwing them on. So I would say each one of these is worth the 500 red coins. So guys, that is it for our video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, who are you planning to pick up with your red coins? Are you saving down the road, right? Are you just saving those coins flat out for Beast and Broly when they show up during the Tanabata celebration later this year? Or are you picking somebody up off of Broly's banner? Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.